Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another Chris Chan article where we are delving the very depths of Chris's misguided and somewhat misrepresented ideas concerning technology. We are moving on to television, something that has had a firm grasp of Chris's bollocks for the greater part of almost his entire life. I watch too much fucking television. Chris being surprisingly true and honest. Sonichu coming soon on Family Guy. Something that was absolutely not drawn by Chris, but it's actually got a good representation of, well, somebody who obviously knows something about, concept drawing, and it's really not bad. Not bad at all. I'll give him that much. It's really cool. Television is a widely used telecommunication medium for transmitting and receiving moving images, and a staple in almost all North American homes. It's also one of the favorite pastimes of our mutual friend. Indeed, when not socializing, recycling, or playing video games or ranting about blue arms, it's a fairly safe bet Chris is sitting down and watching TV, lots and lots of TV. Chris gets most of his information, unfortunately, concerning the outside world through the television, among other entertainment media. This leads to a blatantly ripping off concepts and characters from whatever he watches, or is unfortunate enough to take Chris's fancy. Interpretation of media. Chris is prone to interpreting various forms of media in his own strange way. During his attempt to put his own ads on the Wikipedia, he claimed that the award-winning film Avatar was meant to promote the eradication of homosexuality. Sorry? Rather than the tolerance of other cultures. It must have been over 10 years since I haven't even seen Avatar, and if those who were around 10 years ago, I remember the hype around James Cameron's Avatar as well. It was almost insane that it was as big as it was, but then quickly just sort of faded out of existence. Rather than the tolerance of other cultures. How he contrived this idea is a complete mystery. I'm going to assume that he's just simply never seen it. His fear of homosexuals destroying the future incidentally emerged from an episode of South Park called The Goobacks, which was a satire of the controversy of illegal immigration. In the episode, a group of rednecks who had lost their jobs to the illegal immigrants from the future decided that the best way to get their jobs back was to destroy the future by making everyone gay so there wouldn't be anybody in the future. Chris, however, took everything at face value. I'd imagine he would. I don't even really watch South Park all that much, and I can tell you that just wow. And interpreted the episode as a scare film on the par with Red Dawn. In a similar vein, Chris is convinced that the Family Guy is anti-gay Republican propaganda, owing to his failure to interpret how the show is parodying Republicans, and that the show's creator, Seth MacFarlane, is famously a supporter of gay rights. Do you wonder why Chris decided to stop watching if it was either Seth or... I mean, hang on. I know it mentioned Family Guy, but did either Trey Parker or Matt Stone ever make comments about LGBT rights before? I'm assuming they would, because it wouldn't look badly on anyone, even Fox, to say that they have people who are anti-LGBT. This is something that DC didn't take seriously when they hired people like Orson Scott Card, but that's a different matter altogether. Chris does not have the same misconception when it comes to live action media. It's explicitly stated that Seinfeld characters aren't real and justified his like of the Saw movies by saying that the violence is all made up. As shown above, Chris rarely understands any more dispensed by media, generally wildly misinterpreting them and then citing them as justification for his ridiculous and bigoted behavior. This is what people who are in denial do. For example, while attempting to justify his attempt to pretend to be Liquid Chris in an attempt to steal his girlfriend, he claimed that he was wrong but for the right reasons. Not good enough if you ask me. This comes from another episode of South Park called Best Friends Forever, where, after a satire of the Terry Schiavo controversy, it is stated that Cartman was right but for the wrong reasons. In context, it meant that his goal of shutting down the vegetative Kenny's life support was the right thing to do, for reasons involving the fate of the universe that are too complex to explain here. But his motivation was completely off mark. He only did it because he knew that Kenny's death would cause him to inherit his PlayStation Portable. Meanwhile, Stan and Kyle were wrong but for the right reasons, as they wanted to keep Kenny in a perpetual vegetative state, even though he should just let him die. But they were doing so because they actually cared about Kenny, rather than exploiting the situation for their own benefit, like Cartman was. Chris seems to have interpreted this as, if you could do a bunch of bad things, like pretending to be someone else in order to steal their girlfriend, you are completely justified in doing so if your dishonest actions lead to a positive outcome. Like proving that you are the true and honest Christian Weston Chandler and getting laid. What Chris means by positive outcome is as it means positive for Chris and for literally nobody else involved. That's what he means by that. Dimensional merge, yet to be completed due to stress. It's an ongoing saga that will almost never be fully explained anyway because, well, for reasons you'll see when I come to this. Taste in television, which is unfortunately very, very limited. Chris is a fan of South Park and almost all of Seth MacFarlane's creations. Family Guy, American Dad, The Cleveland Show, Cavalcade of Comedy, I'd imagine. He bought tons of their episodes via the PlayStation Network for a sizable amount of money. Adult Swim is another big favourite of our autistic hero, and he even entered one of their contests and raged when he didn't win. He recently got into F is for the Family. Anime is another idea where Chris's choices are very transparent. Among some of his favourites over the years include Shuffle, essentially a tale of somewhat an unlikable guy being accosted by several obedient and attractive females. Gunslinger Girl, essentially a slightly unnerving bit of softcore eroticism, and Excel. Isn't that also meant to be like a? Oh God, what was the? I can't remember what it was called, but no, I can't do it. And Excel Saga, while generally regarded favourably, is chock full of in-jokes and parody, things that Chris can't understand but is eager to copy. Certain bizarre choices do stick out. However, Monty Python's Flying Circus has been brought up or referenced several times, along with comedian Red Skeleton and I Love Lucy. The former features Chris' absurdity probably piqued Chris's interest, while the final two are probably an offshoot of his decrepit parents. Chris seems to also have watched a fair bit of Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon in the late 1990s and early 2000s, making reference to Cousin Skeeter, Ed, Edd and Eddy, and the Powerpuff Girls, among others. Many of these shows have gained significant cult followings, but were made for kids much younger than Chris was at the time. Seeing his other interests though, it's not surprising that he was watching shows designed for elementary scholars, when he himself was in high school and college. I mean, I don't know, like, when I was in high school, one of the things I would watch almost religiously was a show called Adventure Time, and that was a show that was universally respected for containing frequent amounts of jokes specifically aimed at adults, but was also very charming, funny, witty, very avant-garde for its period, including shows like Regular Show, The Amazing World of Gumball, and Steven Universe. I haven't really seen a lot of Steven Universe because, I don't know, it just wasn't really the show that kind of like appealed to me for some reason. I don't know. If I ever started to watch that show properly, then maybe something might be different. Many of these shows have gained significant... Chris has also shown an affinity for some darker movies, the most jarring being the Saw series. He rarely mentions the movies, though it's possible their influence led to the events of Sonic 2 Issue 10, where the Asphodesia 4 were executed via elaborate death traps. Well, elaborate by Chris's standards in any case. sorry, sinuses again, it's almost lunch anyway. If this picture is clear, Chris may be using Hulu or Hulu Plus lately to watch all the shows he can't on Netflix. Mods Chris uploaded to Mod Nation Races indicates he's a fan of Drawn Together for obvious reasons. I don't know, I've seen certain episodes of Drawn Together, it's not really my sort of thing. He copied a scene from Beavis and Butthead in an issue of Sonichu. Netflix. Chris has used Netflix to satisfy his watching needs instantaneously, enabling him to reach a near comatose state of mental saturation. Put in more practical terms, he spent more than 6 hours watching Keeping Up Appearances and South Park in a single day. Twice. In terms of averages, Chris watches roughly 3 hours of television a day, at least for the week viewed. And in 3 hours, in that amount of time, I could make 4 videos in that amount of time, possibly 14 in 6 hours, which again goes to show you just how much time you could waste your entire life by just watching television and nothing else. The huge selection and instant watch feature, combined with Chris's need to whack, has led to some interesting choices in film. To date, he has rented Maniac Nurses Find Ecstasy, Story of O Virgin, and many more titles with sexual names and or posters, probably because he thinks he was watching porn. Considering Netflix doesn't deal in porn, he's wasting his time. There you go. Other than these 2 porno hunts and impulsive rentals, Chris is pretty much interested in only 2 types of genres of programs: adult cartoons, British sitcoms, and comedy, displaying a remarkably narrow range of interests. The only movie that really stands out in his selections is Twilight. Maybe for reasons that maybe Chris doesn't want to discuss, but whatever. Netflix has also allowed him easier access to the cartoons of his childhood, Transformers and Sonic being the most prominent. The apparent binge of Transformers-related television may have been the inspiration behind Sonichu Issue 9. Fan videos. Chris Chan the sitcom. Oh boy. Let's take a look. Please tell me the video's up. Yeah, okay, it is.
This message is to Mr. Mao of the goddamn. Your ad right now. What you have up there on my Wikipedia, that's just wrong. You're imitating Jack Thaddeus now, and I do not appreciate it. Either you remove your ads altogether, or I will have your head on it. I'm already having your head on it because as much as I have a curse on, I possibly have a curse on me, you. That's the Mr. Mao of the Afterpeak.
Who's got the sweetest disposition?
We are going to have sex. That's going to be awesome.
One guess who?
He ain't created something!
Who never starts an argument?
You damn mocking
Who
bastard!
never shows a bit of temperament?
You!
Who's never wrong but always right? Who never dream of starting a fight?
We are at war!
Who gets stuck with all the bad luck?
Man tricked me
No
again.
one but that autistic fuck.
I'll send in detectives, I'll send the police, I'll send in everything in my power to get it off the internet! Yes.
Listen to me.
Yes.
Shut that goddamn thing off. I don't care what you do. You get all that stuff off of there tonight.
I'm working on it.
Go work on it.
I am
Do
working.
you realize something? Let me tell you. If the health department of Greene County sees those videos you put on the damn internet, they could condemn our house and we would have to move out of it. So you go get that goddamn stuff off of there and fast.
I'm working on it. I was making a YouTube.
bloody hell, come on. You're interrupting my favorite show here. You know, for if they had got like another 50 bucks, they probably could have got, I don't know, maybe John Cena or Dwayne Johnson to do this. That might have been, you know, that might have been something to explain just who are these two Rudy Poos out there. But whatever, I'm supposing that's just too much to ask for. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for Chris and television. And as you could work out, the majority of his television viewing extends to fiction and basically no adherence to anything like documentaries or even films, like documentary type films like, I don't know, March of the Penguins or something like that. He's never really been interested in anything really factual, I guess you could say. That's kind of... You know, you would have thought somebody like Chris would have wrote extensive articles or something like about Powerpuff Girls or why he likes them so much or what the appeal is, but apparently it's just through one ear and then completely straight out the other, which it's disappointing because I reckon Chris would have been quite avid at writing stuff like that into his life or working a way of trying to like incorporate elements from those sort of shows as opposed to just blatantly stealing characters. It's a shame because, well, if you go to like do your research into what sort of world you want to create, then you've got to hit the ground running and decide on things you like and see where it works from in like television or in books or in movies, and then work its way up from there. You can't just blatantly steal everything, because what it's proven and shown in Chris is that the second he writes anything that you best can be called original, he is lost. He is a complete babe in the woods because he doesn't know jack shit about how to write anything coherent, anything about subtlety, or anything that doesn't have horrifying implications hiding behind terrible, terrible artwork. It's a shame again because this is still the best part of this article in many ways. Whoever was responsible for designing this, they did a good job. Especially designing a horrified Meg. I can get behind that. So anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this article of Chris and television, courtesy of The Quickie. Please make sure to leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys thought of the article for yourselves. And I hope to see all of you guys again in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye for now.